It was a brisk autumn morning in a cozy little town nestled between rolling hills and winding rivers. People went about their usual business, sipping their warm cups of coffee and glancing at the leaves fluttering by. However, this wasn't just another regular day. Today, the air seemed charged with excitement, because today was the day the world would witness the ultimate showdown in the canine world. A small, adorable French bulldog named Louie stood on the starting line, his big, round eyes wide with excitement. His tiny paws danced in place as he barked excitedly, waiting for the signal. Beside him stood a more intimidating figure, a majestic golden retriever named Max, his fur gleaming in the sunlight, muscles rippling beneath his coat. There was also Bella, a sleek and agile border collie known for her intelligence and speed. And let's not forget Rocky, a massive and intimidating Rottweiler who exuded confidence. The event was unlike any other, a grand competition that would determine who was truly the superior breed. The idea had sparked from an online debate that had gained traction on social media. The topic was simple yet contentious: cute French Bulldog vs. other breeds, who wins? People from all over the world had shared their opinions, their thoughts, their personal experiences with their beloved dogs. It had gotten heated, and what started as a light-hearted discussion soon transformed into an all-out canine showdown where fans would cheer for their favorite breed, and the dogs would prove their worth. At the heart of the competition was Louie, a French bulldog who had captured the hearts of millions on the internet. His funny, charming personality and adorable looks made him a viral sensation. He wasn't the biggest or the fastest, but his unique quirkiness made him stand out from the pack. Louie knew what it meant to be different. He knew what it was like to be underestimated by others, but he also knew how to turn that into strength. That's why he was here, because deep down, Louie knew that no matter what the world thought of him, he could win this competition. Max, the golden retriever, was the complete opposite. He had the looks, the size, the athleticism. He was the type of dog people would expect to win a contest like this. Golden retrievers were known for their friendly nature, intelligence, and loyalty. Max was a dog that had everything going for him. Except one thing: he didn't have the heart that Louie had. Max's journey had always been easy, full of praise and admiration. But today, he would face a challenge unlike anything he had ever encountered. Then there was Bella, the Border Collie. A breed renowned for its intelligence and agility, Bella had been training for this day since she could remember. She had the sharpest mind, the quickest reflexes, and the focus of a champion. While Louie and Max may have been crowd favorites, Bella's confidence came from knowing one simple fact: she was born for greatness. She had seen the looks people gave her when they marveled at her intelligence, but she knew she couldn't afford to rely on that alone. Today, she would show the world that brains and brawn could go hand in hand. Finally, Rocky, the Rottweiler, was the embodiment of strength. No one could deny the sheer power in his frame. His intimidating stance and deep, rumbling bark made it clear that he was a force to be reckoned with. However, beneath the tough exterior was a dog who had struggled with his own demons. The Rottweiler was often misunderstood, feared by those who didn't know him, and underestimated by those who saw only his size. But Rocky wasn't here to intimidate. He was here to show the world that size didn't always matter. The competition began with a simple challenge, an obstacle course that tested agility, strength, and intelligence. The dogs would have to navigate through a series of jumps, tunnels, and balance beams, each designed to push them to their limits. As the starting whistle blew, Louie darted forward, his short legs moving at lightning speed. Max, using his powerful stride, quickly caught up, his tail wagging furiously as he bounded over the first hurdle. But it was Bella who caught everyone's attention. She weaved through the obstacles with the precision of a well-oiled machine. Her focus never wavered, and with each jump, twist, and turn, she seemed to glide through the course with ease. The crowd cheered, but Louie wasn't far behind. His determination was unmatched, and though his small stature gave him an apparent disadvantage, his agility and quick thinking allowed him to navigate the course in ways that no one had expected. Meanwhile, Rocky approached the first jump, his powerful legs propelling him forward. The crowd gasped as he soared over the obstacle, but his size became a challenge as the narrow tunnel ahead beckoned. Rocky hesitated, not sure how to squeeze through the tight opening. The crowd watched in anticipation as Louie, Max, and Bella moved ahead, but Rocky's moment had not yet come. As the competition continued, each dog had their own moments of brilliance. Max used his strength to clear large obstacles with ease. Bella's intelligence shone through as she cleverly navigated the course, taking strategic shortcuts. Louie, though small, never gave up, pushing himself harder with each step, showing the world that sometimes the underdog was the one who could surprise everyone. It was clear by now that Louie wasn't just cute, he was a competitor. His little legs, his adorable face, and his quirky personality had all made him a star, but it was his heart, his sheer will to succeed, that had kept him in the race. Louie wasn't concerned with being the biggest or the fastest. He simply wanted to show the world that being cute wasn't a weakness. It was a strength. And as the final challenge neared, Louie knew that if he could just hold on a little longer, he could win. The last obstacle was a test of endurance. A long stretch of tunnels, ramps, and walls that the dogs would have to scale. It was grueling. Max, with his sheer size and power, was the first to attempt it. He raced up the ramp with ease, but struggled on the climb. Bella, with her agility, made it look effortless. She flew through the obstacles, but Louie's persistence paid off. Though he was tired, his determination kept him going. His tiny paws scrabbled at the ramp, his nose pushed against the wall, and slowly, steadily, Louie made his way to the top. The crowd erupted as Louie crossed the finish line. Max, Bella, and Rocky all followed close behind, but Louie had done it. He had won. Not because he was the biggest, the strongest, or the fastest, but because he had something that no one else had. A heart full of courage and a spirit that could never be broken. In the end, it wasn't about which breed was the best. It wasn't about size or strength. It was about the love, the personality, and the unique qualities that each dog brought to the table. Max had his loyalty, Bella had her brilliance, Rocky had his strength, and Louie had his charm. And as Louie stood on the winner's podium, his little tail wagging with pride, it was clear that in the world of dogs, there was no such thing as the best. Each breed had its own magic, and they were all winners in their own right. And so, the world learned an important lesson that day. It's not about who wins the race. It's about the journey, the love, and the joy that our furry friends bring into our lives. After all, when it comes to dogs, every breed is a winner. The story of Louie and his fellow competitors became an inspiration to people around the world. Louie's viral fame only grew after the competition, but the true message he carried was clear: being cute isn't just about looks. It's about character, heart, and the ability to surprise the world. Through that day of fierce competition, the message spread far and wide in the game of life. It's not always about size, strength, or smarts. It's about showing up, doing your best, and embracing what makes you special. And so, in the end, everyone won. The debate was over, but the love for each dog remained stronger than ever. As Louie stood atop the podium, his small frame barely reaching above the surface of the winner's stand, he looked out at the crowd. The cheers that filled the air were deafening, but he didn't heed the noise. He didn't need to. Louie's heart was racing, not from the exhaustion of the competition, but from the overwhelming pride that welled up inside him. For once, it wasn't just about his cute face or his playful antics. It wasn't about being underestimated or dismissed. Today, Louie had proven something more important than any victory could signify. He had shown that there was strength in being yourself, in embracing what makes you different. Max, Bella, and Rocky stood beside him, each of them equally proud of their efforts. Max, the golden retriever with the natural charisma of a champion, gave Louie a respectful nod. Bella, always the clever one, offered a warm smile and a wag of her tail, as though she understood that the true essence of the competition wasn't about being the fastest, the strongest, or the smartest. It was about perseverance and heart. Rocky, the Rottweiler, might have been the quietest of the bunch, but his eyes held a softness that matched the pride in Louie's. He, too, had seen how Louie's spirit shone through in a way that transcended physicality. As the final moments of the competition drew to a close, Louie felt something he had never quite experienced before. The world had watched him and his companions go head to head, and now, standing in the spotlight, he realized that the crowd wasn't cheering for just one dog. They were cheering for all of them. The applause wasn't simply for the winner of the race, but for the unique qualities each dog brought to the event. Their bravery, their intelligence, their humor, their tenacity. The competition was over, but the impact lingered. The message that Louie, along with Max, Bella, and Rocky, had carried was more than just about winning. It was a reminder that there is power in embracing individuality, in celebrating the things that make us who we are. The lesson wasn't about competing against one another, but about lifting each other up and recognizing the beauty in our differences. For Louie, this moment was a culmination of everything he had worked toward. He wasn't just an underdog anymore. He was a symbol of resilience, of overcoming the odds, and of being unapologetically yourself, no matter how small or overlooked you might feel. His viral fame wasn't just about his adorable face. It was about the way he had won the hearts of people everywhere. And now, standing in front of the crowd, he knew that his story had made a difference. The world, it seemed, was ready to listen. People began to realize that the joy our pets bring into our lives isn't measured by how fast they run or how high they jump. It's measured by the love they offer, the companionship they provide, and the lessons they teach us about living authentically and with purpose. Louie had become more than just an internet sensation. He had become an icon of what it means to be genuine, to push past the expectations that others place on you, and to believe that, no matter your size, your breed, or your background, you have something valuable to offer the world. As the final applause faded, Louie took a deep breath, feeling the weight of everything he had just accomplished. The competition had ended, but his journey was far from over. His story was just beginning, and with each step he took, Louie would continue to remind the world that sometimes the most powerful victories come not from strength, but from the heart. And with that, Louie, the French Bulldog with the soul of a champion, stepped off the podium and into the next chapter of his life, a chapter that would inspire countless others to find the courage to be themselves, no matter what. The crowd erupted once more, not because of the winner, but because they had all just witnessed something much greater, the realization that when you embrace what makes you unique, you become unstoppable.